Sorry, I always have to get my camera situated after I go live because the way they do the screen, I like can't see. I can't see what's gonna be in the frame, so I have to get it kind of adjusted and fixed right after I start the live. Okay. Let's get it about right there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. Might be able to move this a little bit. How's everybody doing today? Happy Wednesday. Okay, I think that looks pretty good in frame. Okay. Let me get my reference picture, and then I will be good to go. I'm a little disorganized today. It has been a crazy week, as usual. I feel like has it been a month since I did a Draw With Me live stream? I think it has been. Crazy. Okay. Yeah, it's been a crazy month. I don't know where October went. But here we are. It's almost Halloween. We are just like a week out. I think tomorrow is a week from Halloween. Crazy. Okay. I'm going to use this for now. And I am just going to get started. I got some new pencils, guys. These two, wait, no. Yeah. These two. And yeah, these three are all new. My pencils that I use a lot were starting to get too short for use, and so I got 3 new ones. Shiny new pencils. And today, guys, I'm going to be drawing, if you can't tell, I'm going to be drawing Keanu Reeves as John Wick. We had an unprecedented, I don't think this has ever happened as far as I can remember. There was a 3-way tie on the poll. And so I was like, okay, I guess I will cast the deciding vote. And since just yesterday, breaking news, I watched John Wick Chapter 4. I decided to draw John Wick because I am all up in my feels after watching John Wick Chapter 4 yesterday. You guys, it was so good. I won't say any spoilers for the people who watch this who haven't seen it, but I know there's a lot of people who probably will disagree with me, but I feel like the John Wick movies just kept getting better every time. I mean, they just kept upping their game every time, and it was so impressive to watch. And I'm so sad that now it's over. I've watched all of them, and I think there's like rumors that there's a John Wick Chapter 5, maybe, but for now, it is the last one. And so, oh, almost dropped my pencil. Let's move those there. So anyway, I'm like so sad that I'm all caught up because I had so much fun watching those movies. They were so much better. They are so much better than they have any right to be. And I love them so much more than I was anticipating. Like, Keanu Reeves was cool as Neo, of course. The Matrix, yeah. But Keanu Reeves as John Wick is like next level cool. I will stand by that. Hello, Gary. How are you doing today? trying to wake up. What state are you in, Gary? Are you on like East Coast or West Coast or Central? I can't remember. Michigan. Okay. Cool beans. So you're on Eastern time, I believe. Or maybe you're on Central time. I'm on Central time here in Alabama. Yes, I do like his beard, and I don't know if that's a controversial opinion, but yeah, Keanu has a very different looking beard. Like it's a unique shape. And I don't feel like he shaves it that way. I just feel like he's got an interesting growth pattern here. And yeah, I think it's cool. I love it. I love anything that makes somebody unique. And Keanu Reeves is a very unique individual, and he's so cool. Seriously. And he sounds like a really nice human being as well, which is a huge plus. I love it when there's an actor that I can actually like as a person and not just in their movies and I have to ignore them as a person because they're not a good person. Sounds like Keanu is a great guy, so that's good. Gary, you're on Eastern time? Okay, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure though. Some guys just definitely look cooler with a beard, and Keanu is one of those people. Also, his hair game is on point. 10 out of 10 for the hair. And like not to call him old or anything, but to do the fights that he does at his age is incredible. I thought he was like I thought he was like in his 40s or something. And then when I looked it up, like how old he was when he started doing John Wick, not to mention the later ones, I was like, "Oh my gosh." I could have legit believed he was like mid 40s. I love it when I find a film or a film franchise that I just love and I didn't see it coming and it just kind of blindsides me. John Wick was definitely that kind of franchise for me. I went in expecting to just moderately enjoy it, kind of like average action movie. And then it kept getting better every time and love it. Been raving to my family about it because none of them have seen it. I'm like, you have to watch John Wick. It's so good. You don't understand. You can't understand until you watch it. And my brother is a big fan of Keanu Reeves from the Matrix movies. I've only seen the first one, but my brother grew up thinking Keanu Reeves was so cool because he loves the Matrix movies, but he's never seen John Wick. And so I've been telling him every time I see him, I'm like, you've got to watch John Wick. You're going to love it. I promise. So right up your alley. Are you serious, Gary? That's so cool. Football team tried to recruit him because he was so good. You know what? That would not surprise me. He's tall too. I don't know how tall he is, but he looks like he's at least 6 foot. I don't know if he's taller, but so he's actually a reasonable size. He could play football. Or could have, I should say. Yep, Gary, John Wick was a very pleasant surprise for me. It's one of those moments where I'm like, oh man, I'm only gonna get to watch this for the first time, like once, where you're enjoying it so much, but and you're thinking, wow, I'm like never gonna watch this for the first time again. And you're trying to enjoy that moment of seeing that amazing like fight scene for the first time, which every fight scene in John Wick movies, all of them are amazing. That is upside down. I haven't seen The Shooter, Gary. Is that the one with Mark Wahlberg? I can't remember if that one's called just Shooter or The Shooter. That one might just be called Shooter. And it's true, don't kill a dangerous man's dog. I mean, obviously don't kill any dog, but especially not like a hitman. Bad mistake. Okay, that is the one with Mark. I've like heard of that one and am sort of aware of it because my dad really likes that movie and he's recommended it, and I may have even seen like a bit of it one time. I don't remember though. Because he watched it on TV fairly often when I was younger. I remember that. But I don't think I've definitely never just sat down and watched it. So I need to do a reaction to that one. That would probably be good. So many movies I need to react to, so little time. And it's almost the end of the year again. I cannot believe it. Alabama Comic-Con, Gary. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. It was okay this year. It was all right. It was not as good as it has been in past years. I don't know what happened this year. I don't know if it was the guest list or lack of marketing or both. I don't know what happened, but attendance was way down this year. It was disappointing, not going to lie to you. But you know what? It happens. You're going to have good turnout at some events and not so great at others, and you just got to roll with it. Do the best you can and hope for better at the next one. I don't do very many, Gary. It's kind of just a side hustle I do occasionally because I enjoy it. I usually do Alabama Comic-Con at the BJCC every year, and I usually do Huntsville Comic-Con. Or it's called Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo. There we go. I do that one every year, and that one is, this is not very sharp. That one is my favorite. And honestly, those are kind of the only two I do. I was going to do South Carolina Comic-Con last year, but it didn't work out. I wasn't able to make it. So that was going to be another one I was going to try out last year. I also did the Nashville Comic-Con last year, ICC Con, and that was fun. That was my first out-of-state convention. So basically the short answer is I do anywhere between like 2 and 3 a year, and I can't ever see myself really doing more than like 3 or 4 a year, because that's just not my focus, but I do enjoy them a lot. And traveling is very expensive, so it has to be worth it to go. Like if you're going to go out of state, you have to really be sure that it's going to be worth it or you're going to lose money. So I tend to stay close to home with the Comic-Cons. I do, Gary. Glad you enjoy it. I am very all over the place. I feel like with my drawing process, I don't plan anything. I mean, apart from laying out my drawing, I don't plan like I'm gonna go in this order and I'm gonna start here, whatever. I don't plan anything. I just kind of go with it. Definitely, Gary. I think I only have two of them left. Out of this is number 9. I only have two of them left. Pretty crazy. I've been very, very grateful that people have been enjoying these videos and that they're liking the portraits and they're purchasing them. That's always very exciting as an artist, obviously. That's the hardest. I mean, the hardest part about being an artist is getting eyes on your work and, I mean, getting people to purchase it. Obviously, I mean, that's the hardest part. Making the work is, maybe most people don't realize this, but making the work is the easy part, at least for me. The hardest part is getting people to know that your artwork exists, because there are so many artists out there, and the internet is such a what's the word I'm looking for? Like, oversaturated. The market is so oversaturated that it is hard to get yourself out there and, number one, get people to know you exist and be invested enough in you and your work to purchase it. It's quite a challenge, and it takes a lot of work. Yes, I have a set price. All of these have been 85 plus shipping, but starting with this one, I'm bumping it up to 100 because I have a bad habit of not charging enough for my work, and I'm working on doing better about that. Um, so yeah, I base my pricing on how long it takes me. I don't tend to. So it's kind of a combination of size, like how big is the piece, and time it takes me. And sometimes pieces will be priced the same, and other times I will change it a little bit based on like how long it took me, how much is the materials and the canvas, and obviously how much is it going to cost to ship it. That's a big thing. Like with large paintings, like my 30 by 40 paintings, it costs almost $400 to ship it. $400 just to ship it. And like my 24 by 30s cost almost $300 to ship. So that's a big thing with paintings, like having to charge enough to cover the shipping and canvas and all of that stuff. Drawings, I can charge a lot less for because, one, they're faster. So I charge less for that reason. And also they cost like, I don't know, $10 to $20 to ship at the most. So it's a lot cheaper to ship drawings. It is rough carry. Shipping costs are ridiculous. But I mean, you have to protect it too. It's packing and shipping, so you're shipping it one like a big canvas, and also you're having to pay for them to like pack it so that it doesn't get damaged in transit because oh my gosh, that is my worst nightmare. It hasn't happened yet with a painting, knock on wood. But that's like my worst nightmare is one of my original paintings that I spent like 30 or 40 hours on, like getting damaged or destroyed or lost in transit on its way to somebody. Oh my gosh. I know it's gonna happen eventually because it happens to everybody, but oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry when that happens to me. Because you can insure paintings, but you can't replace it. I mean, it's a one of a kind. The most important thing with pricing, like every artist is different, but the most important thing with it is to make it worth your time. Like if you don't feel like you're getting paid for your time, then you need to bump up your prices. And that's what I've had to work on is valuing my time and valuing the work I put into things. But I mean, even so, my pricing is like it's very affordable compared to most other artists who are working in my genre. Like, as in, for my big paintings, I'm charging like half of what they're charging for now. But it's just, oh my goodness, I don't know. I'm trying to strike this balance between like making it worth my time and getting paid well, because I mean, I gotta pay my bills just like everybody else does. Um, but also I want my work to be affordable to as many people as possible. So it's a hard balance to strike, like wanting to keep things affordable for as many people as possible, but also you got to charge for your time and make it worth it and like get paid enough to live on. So it's a complicated issue. I'm learning. I feel like I'm learning and getting better at the business side of things all the time. It's always going to be a learning process. And I try to be transparent about it too. A lot of people are really secretive about their pricing and why they do it and stuff, but I try to be transparent. It's a little complicated just because when you have different storefronts and things and different careers, like a YouTuber, also an author. So I have like all my Amazon stuff to deal with, and then having my art website, and I'm also on Etsy. I sell my art there as well. So a little bit complicated, but it's not too bad. People always want to know how I do the white highlights in my drawings, and like, it's white charcoal, it's my best friend. If you haven't heard about it, you need to try it. I love drawing on toned paper so much because when you start on white paper, you can't do the white charcoal. Can't use it for those highlights. I like starting off on a mid-tone on the toned paper instead of starting off on white and having to work from white. I like having that mid-tone of gray to start on. Or tan, when I work on tan paper. Yes, Gary, that is the Man with No Name, Clint Eastwood hot toy from Sideshow Collectibles. They did a whole Clint Eastwood line of figures, and I was like, my time has come. This was made just for me. So I grabbed the one from the Dollars trilogy. I don't remember actually if that one is supposed to be from For a Few Dollars More or A Fistful of Dollars. I think it's For a Few Dollars More, which is my favorite of the trilogy. I'm actually not sure. It could be from Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, because he does get that outfit at the end. I don't know if it's supposed to be from a particular one or just from the trilogy. But they also, I know they were going to do one for Unforgiven, I think, and Pale Rider. Pretty cool. I would be good at movie trivia so long as it was movies I'd seen. We used to play Lord of the Rings trivia, and obviously I wanted to play Lord of the Rings trivia because I always dominated everybody at it because it was, I mean, still are my favorite movies of all time. So it would depend on the movies. Like those, I know backwards and forwards. Other movies, not so much. Like, movies I've reacted to that I've only seen once, that would be hard for me. Like, I would forget character names and all sorts of things. Oh, you and your son do a monthly trivia. That sounds very fun. I once won a prize at Books A Million. They were doing Marvel Trivia Night, and I believe it was for Marvel Comics and not necessarily the movies, and I've never really read the comics. I've read a few of them, but I'm mainly like a Marvel Cinematic Universe fan. But me and my brother and my sister-in-law went just to see how we would do and if we could win a prize, and I am very pleased to report that I won. That was several years ago, probably like 5 or 6 years ago, but I was very proud of myself. So I won this cool Spider-Man figurine that I still have. One of my prouder moments. Oh, cool. So y'all actually go to a trivia thing. That's awesome. I didn't know if you meant like y'all just played a game together or what, but that's fun that y'all get to go and do that together. Yeah, what we did was free too. It was just walk up and do it. Pick a table, pick a chair, and do it. We just had to write in our answers on these sheets as they called out stuff, and it was a little stressful. It was like taking a test, but a Marvel test. And I definitely guessed on a few of them because I did not know they were very niche questions, but managed to pull out the win. No, Gary, we weren't hit by the hurricanes at all. It didn't even really rain here. I have a really good friend who lives close to Tampa, Florida. But thankfully, their house was undamaged. Their yard was a mess, but their house was okay, and they were okay, and it's all good. I also had a great uncle in Asheville, North Carolina, and we were worried about him for a few days because we hadn't heard anything and didn't know what had happened to him, but he had to drive like, I think it was like 10 miles or so to be able to get cell service, so he eventually let everybody know that he was okay. I don't believe there's any connection to Space Camp. Yep, I went to Auburn. War Eagle anyway, even though our football team is once again horrible this year. Oh, very cool, Gary. A submarine commander, that's impressive. I could not do that. Like, being on a submarine is one of my worst nightmares. Deep in the ocean like that, oh, it terrifies me, the idea of it. I think I would get very claustrophobic too. I didn't know Auburn had like a submarine training program. That's pretty cool. I had no idea. I knew we had a pretty major like aerospace engineering program, but I had no idea that we had anything to do with training people for submarines. That's pretty awesome. I'm not super claustrophobic, Gary, but I think I would be on a submarine. being trapped in that tiny little area deep in the ocean for a long period of time, I think I would go a little bit crazy. I'm definitely, I don't even know if I should say I'm claustrophobic, because I feel like that's a natural thing that most people don't like being in super tight, dark spaces. Like, I feel like the most I've ever had to confront claustrophobia was at a haunted house many years ago. I was in high school, and there was a section of it where it was pitch black, and it was a fabric tunnel. That's the only way I know how to describe it. A fabric tunnel that was pushing in on you from all sides, and you had to push your way through it, and it's pressing against you the whole way through. That's the most claustrophobic I've ever felt. But I just stuck out my hands and my arms and pushed my way through it, and I didn't panic or anything, but I was like, this is freaky. I don't like it. I've never had an MRI. Hopefully, I won't have to. But I'm sure I will at some point. Yeah, I know there's like weird tunnel things where you have to lay in there. I don't think I would like that very much. I don't do much for Halloween. I go trick-or-treating with my nieces because they are the trick-or-treating age. Um, and I just walk with them. I don't get candy or anything. But I do dress up. I still have fun doing that. I don't know why. I must be putting my stuff in a different spot than I usually do. I keep like bumping my hand and my arm on my pencils and stuff. The left-handed struggles are real. Hey, you know who's a fellow lefty? Keanu Reeves. It's nice having such a cool person in the lefty camp. We are only like 10% of the population. It's pretty crazy. It's so interesting to me, the concept of even of left and right-handed people, and why is there such a, like, why is it so unbalanced? Like, why aren't there an even number of left-handed and right-handed people? You would think maybe that would be the case, but it's like 90% right-handers and only 10% left-handers. It's just fascinating to me. And I believe, I haven't heavily researched this, but I believe left-handed people tend to be like a higher percentage of creative types, which is also interesting. I guess it has to do with the side of your brain that you use and how that connects to using your left hand. It's fascinating stuff. More active? Interesting. I guess I would fit into that too because I've always played sports and I love exercising. I walk and run almost every day. I have a very long attention span though. I'm not like, there's a lot of people who just have to get up and move around. Like they can't sit and do something for a long period of time, but I can. I've always had a very long attention span. I can just sit and work on something for hours, like a drawing or something, or I can sit and write for hours. I just like normal people have to get up and take breaks sometimes, but yeah, very long attention span. So I've always been frustrated by people who don't have a long attention span. I'm like, can't you just focus on this for 5 seconds? I'm a very like hyper-focused person. Now that is something I cannot do, Gary. Or I shouldn't say I can't do, I choose not to. Uh, I have always been a very good sprinter and not a good long distance runner. That's not the case when it comes to my art. I can go for a lot, like I have a lot of paintings that take me 30 or 40 hours. I have a lot of patience when it comes to paintings and stuff, but like with running, I remember in elementary school and stuff, high school, I could not do long distance running. I would always, like, my chest would start burning and stuff. So I was always much better at sprinting short runs. So basketball was a good fit for me because we did a lot of running, but it was in short spurts and you would get to sort of have a rest. Yeah, basketball was kind of perfectly designed for the kind of running that I like to do. I never did track or anything. or soccer or anything like that. Too much running in those. If I did track, it would have had to be like a, I don't know, like a 100-meter dash or something. Definitely not marathons for me. I've always been impressed by people who can do long distance running. Like my uncle, I think my cousins have done it. I've got a couple of uncles actually that really like the long distance running, just because that's something that I've never been good at. I've always been impressed by people who can just run for miles, because I can't imagine. I don't even know if I could run a mile. Cool, Gary. I like football and baseball. Yeah, I was really fast too. Again, only in short bursts, but my two nicknames in school were Lefty, obviously. Lefty and Speedy. That was me. Yeah, Gary, if I was gonna do a 5K, I would have to walk a lot of it and just run in little bursts, run little parts of it and then walk again. That's always what worked for me, was just like alternating walking and running, and that's still what I do when I exercise. Is I walk and I'll alternate in sprints because I love sprinting, and then I walk. That's always just been what's worked best for me. That'd be called like interval exercise, I guess. Oh my gosh, it's 12 o'clock already. It's about that time of the live stream where I start panicking and I'm like, oh, I better start moving faster because I've got a lot to do. Yeah, we've usually got a few folks in here, Gary. I haven't even looked how many. Is there anyone else in the chat? Hold on. Oops. Can't see the... Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. Usually there's a couple of lurkers, like people who are watching but never say anything, which is fine. That's totally cool. But yeah, it looks like you're the only one today, Gary. Usually there's a few folks in here, but people must be busy today. Yeah, I'm usually very glad that it's chill in here. That's why I make it a patron exclusive thing and not just open to everyone on YouTube, because I don't want the chat to be going crazy like it does during a premiere when I'm drawing, because I would not be able to keep up with it. Because like during a movie premiere, a reaction premiere, I'm sitting there just talking with you guys, and so I can respond a lot better. But when I'm drawing, I'm looking at the drawing half the time. So if the chat was moving quickly, I would miss a lot of people's comments. So that's why I made it a patron exclusive thing, so there wouldn't be too many people in the chat and it wouldn't be going crazy. I prefer it to be slower when I'm doing drawing live streams. Yep, you're pretty special, Gary. You're going to be the only person to witness the drawing of this portrait live. People will get to see it later, but you're going to be the only one who gets to see it live. Yeah, Election years are always crazy. This one particularly so, and I also am ready for it to be behind us. Yeah, and you're kind of in a swing state too, Gary, so I bet you're getting more ads than the rest of us. Now I'm questioning myself. I think Michigan's a swing state. I always get confused. I know Pennsylvania is. Maybe Wisconsin. Florida's always huge, and now Georgia has become very important as well. I try not to get political on my YouTube channel. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to just entertain people and have a good time with people and all of that. But I have very strong opinions. To put it mildly, I have very strong opinions about it all. And if anyone wants to do any research on me, I'm sure they can find who I'm supporting. But yeah, I try to keep up with everything as best as I can and stay informed, and I go and vote every year. Voting is so important, and I know there's a lot of people that stay home and they don't vote because they don't really feel like their vote matters, but it does. And I mean, our country is so special that we get to vote. So many countries are communist or socialist or whatever, and they don't have elections, or if they do, they're just kind of they're kind of just for show. And it's so important and beautiful that we have the election process. And yeah, I think everyone should go and vote every election, because it is important. It's more than see, a lot of people kind of, they think they have to really, really like the candidate as a person to vote for them, like it's a popularity contest or a personality contest. That's not how I look at elections. I don't look at it as like voting for it. I'm not voting based on like who I want to hang out with on a Friday night. Like it's not casual like that to me. I'm making a chess move for the kind of world that I want to live in. I'm voting for the kind of world I want to live in, the kind of country I want to live in. And that's how I vote. I look at what they align with me on in terms of my values, and that's how I vote. I don't go like, I don't know. Their personality is kind of the least of my concerns. What I care about is their values and what they're going to do with the country moving forward. Not to go on a complete tangent about that, oh my goodness, but yeah, you're never going to have a perfect candidate, is what I'm trying to say. You're never going to have a perfect candidate who you agree with on every single issue or every single thing. You have to just decide what's important to you and go from there. Like, what are they doing on the issues I care most about? And like, how are they going to shape our policy domestically and our international policy as well, like how we're going to deal with and interact with other countries. Yep, that's all you can do, Gary. Form your opinions based on your own research to the best of your ability and go from there. But I would definitely say to everyone, don't stay home. Oh, wow. So your vote in that local election could have, like, your vote would have changed the result. That's crazy. Yeah, there's millions and millions of people in the country who don't vote. It's really sad. Such a privilege. I've only been able to vote for, let's see, 3 elections. Yeah, this will be my 3rd election because 2016 was the first one that I was old enough to vote in. So this will be my 3rd one. I voted every time. Last year was a little quicker, but 2016, the line was very long. I remember standing outside for a long time before we even got into the building to be able to vote. But 2020 was a little bit shorter line. I remember standing in line inside, so it wasn't near as long as the 2016 line. Probably had something to do with COVID. Probably more people voting, like mail-in ballots and absentee and stuff. Getting a little closer. Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching Friday the 13th. I can't wait for y'all to see my reaction to part 2 coming uh this week. Yeah, I got confused for a second, but yeah, coming this week. This Friday. It's another very fun reaction. Yeah, it was funny how I just deluded myself in the first reaction. Like, it has to be Jason, it has to be. And then it's like, nope. Although my conspiracy theory is that it was half Jason, even though it was his mother. I mean, some of the stuff just doesn't make sense unless there were two of them. Like throwing people through the windows, but then driving up in the car a minute later. Like, so the mother just threw a body through the window and then ran and jumped in her car and drove up like she was just arriving. I get that Friday the 13th is not supposed to be very logical anyway, but some of the stuff I'm like, Jason had to be helping her. Had to be. She can't be in two places at once. Yeah, the comfort blanket always gets the most use in Madtober for sure. Yeah, that's true. A lot of the movies I've reacted to, people tell me, like, these weren't big hits when they first came out, but then they air over and over again on cable, and they just became huge hits, like It's a Wonderful Life. That's a wild story. Apologies for my scratching Conte pencil. It's always so loud when I have to do large, dark sections. Somewhere in Time wasn't a hit, but became one via cable. Oh wow, they do a convention where it was filmed. That's so cool. I'm excited to watch that one. That is what I'm planning to watch for Valentine's Day this year, so very much looking forward to finally getting around to watching that one, because I've been hearing about it for at least a couple years now. Filmed in 1980. Cool. Great talking with you, Gary, as always. Have a great day and a great rest of your week. Thanks for hanging out and chatting. Hello, B-dubs. That really was perfect timing. Welcome. You're here for the drawing finale. Got just about 20 minutes left to go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, B-dubs. I just met him on the street somewhere and decided he had an interesting face and I should draw it. He was moving kind of fast, though. It looked like he might have been on the run. I don't know. I just got kind of a snapshot as he went by. Picture came with the frame. Did you order something, B-dubs? Please remind me if you did, because I get y'all's usernames mixed up with your real names, and then I don't remember who ordered what. The struggle is real. I feel so bad when I can't remember stuff. I do my best, but it's hard. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, either he's making a joke that I don't get, or he ordered something, and I don't know which it is. A stranger on my wall. Well, it's not over yet, B-dubs. I'm not giving up yet. I'm just having the struggle privately now. I'm keeping it unlisted. Um, so what I'm trying to do is if they ever leave it alone for like a week, I'll make it public again, but I have yet to reach that point. They are still claiming it every day that I post it. It very rarely does it stay up for 24 hours. So I'm trying to get it to where if it stays up for a week, I'll make it public again, and then hopefully they'll leave it alone. But yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get to that point. They keep just straight up claiming and blocking it, so crazy. Well, see, the thing is, B-dubs, instead of just marking every section they want you to trim it once, they do it one section at a time. So every time, say, they'll claim a different 8-second long section and you have to trim part of it. And they do it one section at a time because the truth is they don't want you to re-upload it. They just want you to quit. So they make it a very long and arduous process. And what's funny is they'll claim a section that's like 10 seconds long, for example, and 5 seconds of that will be me talking, like when it's the big circle me in the center of the screen and you can't even see or hear the movie. Yeah, they do that. And yes, I'm telling on them. It's such a crappy system. Yeah, I know a lot of other reactors appeal things like that, but I'm kind of afraid to do that because of that one time a year or two ago, whenever it was, probably 2 years ago, when YouTube just demonetized my channel out of nowhere, and I had never gotten a copyright strike even, but yet they just demonetized me out of nowhere. I don't even think I had appealed something at the time. Uh, so I haven't ever challenged anything after that because I'm just like, well, if they decide I'm being too much of a nuisance, they can just demonetize my channel again, which was a huge pain. I don't know though, it's tempting. It's tempting to challenge it sometimes. Yeah, it's a pain. It really is. To Kill a Mockingbird is still nowhere near my record, though. My record is with Grumpy Old Men. It took me 43 times to get that one through. But see, actually, this one is more frustrating for me than that one because with Grumpy Old Men, it was Warner Brothers, and they would just claim it every time I posted it while it was unlisted, which is what I prefer for them to do. NBC Universal with To Kill a Mockingbird will let it stay up for like 24 hours, which is why I went public with it in the first place. I thought we were good to go, and then they'll claim it. That's what's frustrating. When you have to leave it up for like a week first to make sure it's safe, it's like, no. If it's not okay, you should never let it pass copyright check. You shouldn't say it's okay and then claim it later. That's not fair to the reactor. Don't let it through until it's fine and you're going to leave it alone. But something's going on, I think, because I've had reactions that are like 2 and 3 years old they're getting claimed lately. And I don't know what's up with that, if there's a new kind of move against reactors that's going on with the movie studios, but yeah, they've been claiming stuff that's like 2 and 3 years old on my channel that's been fine, and now they're suddenly claiming it and blocking it and stuff, and I'm not messing with it because it's like years old content, but it's been very frustrating and very annoying, gotta say. Yeah, YouTube doesn't do anything to help reactors because they don't want to be liable. They don't want to get embroiled in legal cases, so they just are very hands-off about it, and they let us handle it. Oh, several reactors have said the same thing. Okay, so it's not just me. I was wondering. I was like, am I the only one, or is like this happening to everybody? Is there... Okay, so there's something going on for sure. Yep. They must be cracking down. Which, whatever. I mean, it would be tragic if I suddenly couldn't do movie reactions anymore for some reason. Like if they banned it or something. Worst case scenario. But you know what? If that happens, whatever. I will keep making content. It'll just all be my own content. So no one can claim it. New channel for what purpose, B-dubs? I know lots of YouTubers have multiple channels, like they'll do a secondary channel if they want to start doing different types of content, but I just like having all of my content on one channel. Oh, I see. Yeah. Can always create another channel, although that would be a huge pain. Certainly always an option, but then there's always a chance they could do the same thing later. My pencil sharpener is struggling today. It always struggles a bit more with the Conte pencils. They're hard to sharpen. But you gotta have it. You gotta have the black Conte pencil to get that black Keanu Reeves hair, right? That jet black hair. It's iconic. We can't have it not be the right shade. I don't have all my reactions on a hard drive, B-dubs. I probably should, but I don't. I live on the edge. I have to clear off my reactions from my computer all the time so that I have enough space to keep using my computer. I do have an external drive, I just don't use it much because it's such a pain to put stuff on there all the time. But I know how to download my videos from YouTube. But like you said, yeah, if they took my channel down, I guess I couldn't access my reactions anymore to download them. I would still have my Patreon stuff, but that's just my full-length reactions and not the edited ones. Yeah, like I said, living on the edge. I just don't think I would ever want to go to that much trouble either, like re-uploading all of my reactions on another channel. That would be 140 reactions right now. I just don't have time to do that. I just don't. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. She lost all her videos. Oh, that's terrible. That's a nightmare right there. I worry about that. Getting hacked and losing all of my stuff. I hope that the like two-factor authentication stuff that all of the social media sites are doing now helps a little with that. I hope. Because I've always been afraid of like my pages getting hacked and then losing everything. Having to try to get all those followers back, it would be terrible. Oh my goodness, I just realized it's 12:58. Oh. Goodness gracious me. Got to be finishing up here. See what I have missed. Last minute markings. And time. All right, I need to sign this. Oh, that's a little. Let's use this one. There we go, and we are done. Oh, what'd you say, B-dubs? Reading about Keanu? Yes, I was just reading that last night. Quite a background. Yeah, I was curious. I was like, I know he's, like, people consider him Canadian, but I was like, I wanted to know where his parents were from and where he was born and grew up and all of that stuff. It's really fascinating. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching live, and thanks to everyone who's going back and watching this stream later. Thanks for being here, Gary and B-dubs. Hope you guys enjoyed this live stream drawing, this patron portrait live stream. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Have an awesome rest of your week, and I will be seeing you guys for another Film Friday. It's going to be the last one of Madtober 2024, and I will be reacting to Friday the 13th Part 2. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah, thanks for being here, guys, and see you next time.